Welcome to the introduction to DataMiner.services. In this session, we're going to get you started for the session, but also for a couple of the next sessions after this one. Meanwhile, we'll learn all about, or at least the basics of DataMiner.services, our cloud offerings. We'll have a look at a couple of the apps in there, and we'll end the session with a nice little exercise. Without further ado, let's get you started. You will need your own system. We don't want to be impacting a live production environment, so we will get your own safe playground to work with. Of course, you will be needing some content as well, ideally some data, which we will be pulling in by means of connectors. We're not going to set up DataMiner from scratch, run the installer, do all the configuration work. No, we'll be using the cloud for that, DaaS, DataMiner as a service, which is you fill in a little form, you click on a button, and everything is set up for you by us in the cloud. It will be using storage as a service as well, because of course the data needs a location to be saved into, which is STAS, storage as a service, comes on top of DaaS by default. And will this cost you any money? Well, no. We will be creating a new organization in DataMiner.services, and this new organization gives you 1 week for DaaS to use it for free. It will also give you a new user, of course, to interact with all these applications. And well, this is where it all starts, DataMiner.services. I'll not use this slide, I'll just drag in my browser and do the exercises with you. So there you go. This is DataMiner.services, the landing page. You can already see a couple of these applications in here. We're gonna dig into those in a moment, but I first want this DataMiner System. I cannot click the button because, of course, I'm not signed in yet. If I sign in, or if I click the button at least, then I get this sign in form. I would advise you to use one of the existing service providers. If you have an account on Microsoft, Amazon, Google, or LinkedIn, just click the correct button here and use that account. In case you don't panic. You can still sign up for a dedicated Skyline account with this bottom part of the form. For now, I will also be using just my existing Microsoft account. If I click this button, I arrive back on DataMiner.services, and a couple of things have changed. I have the admin app just over here. We're going to be looking at that in a moment. I can click on Add DataMiner System, which we'll be doing also in a couple of seconds. But I also here have my existing organization and my user profile. Let's now first start with Add DataMiner System. We'll be using DaaS, or DataMiner as a service. And now it's very important to click the Create New button. Create your new organization so it's separate from your existing organization. Just give it a nice little name and click on Create. I will not be doing it. I still have some credits left. I want to keep using my own Bragged organization. So I will just click away from this window. But for these sessions, just create a new one. Give your system a name. Choose your time zone, your location, a username and a password. And finally click I agree to the terms of service. When you now hit deploy, this is what you will be seeing. This box will spin for a couple of seconds and it will send all the data to us, to the cloud. We can handle the rest. You will see my new system is initializing. It says here that it's going to take about 15 minutes. Normally it's a little faster than that. While it's doing that, let's just have a look at DataMiner.services on the whole. We've done all this. I'll just skip it. Right. DataMiner.services. What is it actually? We've just seen the website. Is it the website or is it a bunch of apps? The right answer is it's both. At a glance, don't worry, this might feel a little intimidating, this slide. We'll cover a couple of these in detail in the next minutes. But what do we do with DataMiner as a services? Well, we've just spun up our new system, our DaaS. So it's a DataMiner system in the cloud, which is using SaaS, the storage, but you can do much more with DataMiner as a service. We will be using the catalog. This is the one-stop shop to deploy existing items. You don't need to create connectors from scratch. You don't need to even create a dashboard or an automation script. Lots of goodies can be found on there on the catalog. We'll be using it in a moment as well. We have collaboration, our platform where if you if your organization works together with Skyline, if you, for instance, order a new connector, you can follow up the status of your projects with us by using project collaboration. We also have the Dojo, our community website, where you can post all sorts of questions, where you can find training, where you can read up on the latest news, and so forth. We have some CI/CD tooling. A couple of the next sessions will be dealing with those. And we also have the sharing option. If you have a dashboard in your own organization, which you want to share with external people, they don't even need to have DataMiner. You can just use the cloud to share dashboards with them so they can see live updates from your data, restricted just the things that they need to see on their own computer. So that's a little bit, in a nutshell, still what DataMiner.services has to offer. Then we have the website. So we've just looked at the website and we've spun up a new system, but let's now digest that website a little bit. What is there to see? How is this all structured? You can actually think of two levels in here. We have the organization level and we have organization picker, of course, with the public apps. So always available even before I was signed in. And then my new organization app, the admin part for that new organization. Oh, and that little button, almost forgot, is the Cube installer. If you prefer to still work via DataMiner on a desktop application, you can do so. You can install the trusty Cube and work with there. Even if you are using DaaS, even if your system is in the cloud, you can use Cube to remote access your system and work as maybe you're used to in that application. Then the bottom part is our actual systems layer. So on top we have our organization, and in that organization we can have one or more systems. On this screenshot there are two, and one is a DaaS, as you can see here, DataMiner as a service. But even if you still host your own DataMiner systems on-prem, you can connect them to the cloud. They will also show up here, and they will also give you all sorts of benefits like remote support. We can then help you troubleshooting. You can, of course, use the catalog to deploy items to your system on-prem. So even if you still have a self-hosted system, it makes sense to connect it to DataMiner.services. In this case, we don't need to worry about that because we have just spun up a new DaaS. Then here at the right side, we can add more systems to it if we have the credits for it. And we can open these systems in Cube. So again, if you're used to using that desktop client, you don't want to be using these apps here on the left side, which we will be doing in this session. If you prefer to use the full experience, our fat client as we call it, just click here, open in desktop app. It will connect that system to your Cube and it will open your system in there. Now let's get going with the organization admin app. Just gonna get my browser back. And there it is. So this one over here, organization admin, what can I do in there? Okay, so this gives me an overview of my organization, my systems. In this case, it's just one. It's still offline because, of course, it's still spinning up, and it's a DaaS DataMiner as a service. I can configure Teams integration, which is also a nice benefit of using DataMiner services. You can connect your systems to Teams. You can just interact via MS Teams, via chat, give me this dashboard, give me an overview of the top alarms, whatever you want, we have it. And if you don't have it, you can also create your custom commands. Not for this session, just know that it exists. What else can you find in this admin app? Well, your users, your organization users. In this case, it's just me. It's a new organization. I can also create some keys. If I'm interacting via this UI or via the services via API instead of using the UI, I can create a new API key, use that in my API calls, and just do everything automated. Audit usage and settings, we'll be looking at that in a moment. This is enough for now. So this is where you manage your organization settings. It's the admin app. Let's have a look at something else. If you go back to dataminer.services, you should see that by now your system should be ready. If not, just grab a coffee. By the time you're back at your desk, the system will be ready. The first app that we will be looking at is the Home app. So remember, we had the apps on top on organization level. Just here at the bottom, we have an application dedicated to that single system. If I click on the Home application, I'll not find that much. I mean, it's brand new. What do you expect? Well, you can, of course, go to the Dashboards app and start creating something from scratch. Or you could go to Monitoring app, and there you can already find a bit of data just from your actual DataMiner system. You can see some performance data, the task manager, and so on. So that could be useful just for some experiments, but I would rather have something that speaks to my mind, that's a bit more fun to work with. And I don't know if you remember, but the one-stop shop to get all these goodies, that's the catalog. I'm just going to be closing down the Monitoring app and the DataMiner Home. And I'll head back to dataminer.services, where I can click on Catalog. Another way of ending up on the catalog is just remember the URL. It's not difficult, catalog.dataminer.services. And I will just type in ISS because we have a nice ISS tracker as a sample application. Notice that there's two items with the same name. One is the connector. It will just use a web API and drag in the ISS location to your system. So where is the International Space Station at this point in time? But you can also use a full solution built around it. It has that little astronaut with the box as an icon. This is the one that I will be deploying to my system. So go to ISS tracker that says Learning and Sample, click on there and hit the deploy button. Choose your system in case you have multiple. If this is just your first demo system, then it will automatically already be selected. Then click deploy once more. And all this content, this connector and the dashboard and everything that has been built around it is now being deployed to my system, just like that. Just gonna wait a minute until it has finished deploying. And there I have it, deployment successful. If I now go back to my system and go back to my Home app, for instance, I open Dashboards. Well, I have a new folder here, DataMiner Catalog. I find my app just in there, ISS tracker, with a nice dashboard. It shows me where the space station is currently. It gives me latitude, longitude, and all the people in space. So in just a couple of minutes, we've spun up DataMiner system, we have storage, we have an element, we have a dashboard, and with a nice visualization, all just at your fingertips via dataminer.services. If I would be opening the Monitoring app again, then I will also find the same folder structure in here, and then I can see just the raw data, all the astronauts in space, and of course, again, the position of the International Space Station. So that's just to show you what the catalog can do for you. This is, of course, just a sample app. Just explore what's on there. I'm definitely sure that you will find something to your liking. Now this should be more than plenty to get you started for your next sessions as well. In a couple of sessions you will also need to find something on the catalog and deploy it to your system to get you started with some actual content. So let's just leave the catalog for what it is right now. Know that you can do lots of things more. You can create your own content and upload it to the catalog, either privately for your own organization, or you can even make it public so that others can also enjoy what you've created. I'm going to head back to dataminer.services because there's one more app that I would like to show you. It's again the administration app, but not on the organization level this time. It's the one below, just right here on my system level. I also have an admin app, which I will be opening in this new tab. And as you can see, it is the same familiar interface. Just notice that I'm not longer on the organization level. I'm on the DataMiner Systems level. So I don't see my amount of remaining credits. I don't see my Teams integration statistics. I just see my system info, which is it's using STAS, Storage as a Service, on the West Europe region. And I can also see my status of my DXMs, my DataMiner extension modules. This is extra functionality that you can deploy through the cloud to your system, which from time to time you might need if you come into a certain specific use case or feature that's not included in the basic DataMiner. It will ask you for an extra DXM. Well, you can see if they are all up to date in here, and you can install new ones just right here on the DXM page. So just then find the item that you need and deploy it to your system. So that's the difference between the organization admin app and the DataMiner system admin app. It's the same app, just in 2 levels. And with these DataMiner.services basics, you should be set for the next sessions as well. Some of them might require you to deploy content from the catalog to your system. So just head to dataminer.services, find the catalog app, find your connector or solution, whatever is required, deploy it to your system, and you're good to go. Time for our last exercise. If you've been using and following along with this DataMiner.services session, then under your organization admin app, you should be able to go to the audit page and you can see all that's happened during this session. There I can also find my deployment, and it's this page that I want you to screenshot and upload to this Dojo course. Just showing you what that looks like on the website. You will see something like this, assignments. You can browse to the screenshot, grab that screenshot in there and upload it to earn some points. Simple as that. Before I let you go, just a last thing. If you do have some feedback about DataMiner.services or any of our products, we really like to hear from you. Give us some suggestions, feedback. Is there something that you're missing that you like or don't like? Just in the top right corner under your user profile, click there, head to feedback, and you can find a way to contact us. Hope to hear from you soon. Bye bye.